Have you ever noticed that some married women seem to be a lot more friendly, more open, and even flirtatious, but only with men who aren't their husbands? Meanwhile, in their own marriages, they act distant, uninterested, and emotionally unavailable. Why does this happen? Is it just an illusion, or is there something deeper going on? Today, we're diving into the uncomfortable truth about why other people's wives seem more available than your own. The psychology of emotional neglect. One of the biggest reasons this happens comes down to emotional neglect. Many women enter marriage expecting deep emotional connection, passion, and validation. But over time, routines set in, responsibilities pile up, and that emotional connection fades. Husbands, often without realizing it, stop putting in effort the way they used to when they were dating. The compliments slow down, the thoughtful gestures become rare, and conversations become transactional, more about bills, kids, and responsibilities than romance and attraction. But here's where it gets interesting. When a woman feels emotionally neglected in her marriage, she doesn't stop craving attention. She doesn't stop wanting to feel desired. And if she's not getting that from her husband, she may unconsciously become more receptive to outside validation. This doesn't necessarily mean she's looking to cheat. Sometimes, it's just small things. Enjoying a flirtatious compliment from a coworker, engaging in playful banter with a stranger, or simply feeling a spark of excitement from being noticed. And here's the hard truth. Men outside of her marriage see her differently. They don't see the stressed-out, overwhelmed woman who's managing a household. They see an attractive, mysterious woman who, because she's someone else's wife, seems unattainable, and that makes her even more desirable. The grass is greener syndrome. Another major factor is the grass is greener effect. This is the psychological tendency to believe that what we don't have is more desirable than what we do have. For men, this means that another man's wife often seems more appealing because she carries an air of mystery. She's not nagging you about taking out the trash, she's not arguing with you about money, and she's not rolling her eyes at your jokes because she's heard them 1,000 times. Instead, when you see her in social settings, she's dressed well, smiling, and carrying herself with confidence. You're seeing the version of her that the public sees, not the one who's tired at home in sweatpants after a long day. But the same applies in reverse. Her own husband may no longer see her as exciting or alluring because, to him, she's just his wife, someone he's grown used to over time. Meanwhile, men on the outside see her as fresh, interesting, and even exotic. This explains why so many affairs or emotional entanglements don't happen because of deep love, but because of perceived novelty. Societal and cultural shifts. Modern society has also played a role in this phenomenon. Social media, feminism, and changing relationship dynamics have shifted how women see themselves and their roles in relationships. Decades ago, a woman's identity was largely tied to her role as a wife and mother. But today, women are encouraged to explore their individuality, maintain their attractiveness, and seek personal happiness, even outside their marriage. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok fuel this by constantly exposing women to validation from thousands of men. A simple post can receive compliments, attention, and admiration, things that may be lacking in her marriage. This has created a mindset where some married women feel they still have options beyond their husbands. Whether they act on it or not, the mere fact that they receive attention from other men reinforces the idea that they are still desirable and sought after. The role of male behavior. But let's not ignore the role that men's behavior plays in all of this. The way men treat their own wives compared to how they treat other men's wives is drastically different. Think about it. When was the last time you really noticed your wife? Not just as the woman you see every day, but as a desirable, beautiful, and interesting person? Men often become so comfortable in their marriages that they stop putting in effort. Meanwhile, when they interact with another man's wife, they're on their best behavior, charming, funny, and attentive. Women pick up on this contrast. When a stranger or acquaintance treats her like she's special, while her own husband takes her for granted, it's no surprise that she responds positively. This is why some wives seem more available to other men. It's not that they're necessarily seeking it out, but because they receive a different kind of energy from men outside their marriage. The harsh reality of desire. Here's the truth that many people don't want to hear. Desire fades when familiarity increases. This is why long-term relationships require conscious effort to keep attraction alive. It's why so many marriages lose their passion while excitement exists outside of them. The fact that another man's wife seems more available isn't just about her. It's about perception, effort, and human nature. Husbands who want to keep their wives emotionally and physically invested in their marriage need to continue dating them, continue pursuing them, and continue making them feel wanted, just like men on the outside do. Otherwise, she may not physically leave, but emotionally, she may become more open to outside attention. At the end of the day, the idea that other men's wives are more available is both a reality and a perception. It's a result of emotional neglect, societal shifts, and the way men treat women differently inside and outside of marriage. But it's also a warning sign, because if a woman seems more interested in other men than her own husband, something in that relationship is broken. The solution: never stop pursuing your wife, because if you don't, someone else will. If you found this video insightful, let me know your thoughts in the comments.